In 1920, a Belgian Catholic priest, Georges Lemaitre, proposed an expanding model for the universe, which ultimately led to the Big Bang theory. Let's see how it supposedly happened. A tiny singularity expanded into what we now call universe. With that, star systems were formed, along with black holes, which combine together to form galaxies. Galaxies gather to form clusters. Now, every theory has some basic postulates. Big Bang theory proposed three main phenomena. Everything was packed into very small space before the Big Bang, a space roughly a million billion billion times smaller than a single atom. Close proximity and high pressures resulted in extreme temperature. The estimated temperature after 3 minutes of the Big Bang is 10 raised to power 32 Kelvin. And I don't have to say how hot that is, but it's really hot. Third and the most interesting phenomenon, the rate of expansion is decreasing. I say that it's most interesting because when it was finally observed, people were shocked, not just because it wasn't slowing down, but because it was actually speeding up. So this statement wasn't just wrong; it was in fact opposite to the reality. But why do we expect the universe to behave that way? Like, why did we think it should slow down in the first place? Well, it has a very simple explanation. Consider you kick a ball in the air. It goes up, slows down, stops for an instant, and comes right back. Why? Simple. Gravity. The downward effect of gravity opposes the upward motion of the ball and causes it to fall. We can apply the same phenomena to an expanding model of the universe. Universe was initially expanding, and it was believed that the force of gravity among different celestial bodies would provide a frictional effect which would slow down the expansion, and eventually the universe would collapse. But the fact that you are listening to me means it didn't happen. So, an explanation so simple yet so wrong confused the brilliant minds of that era. In fact, to this day, we can't say for sure why this is happening. We just know that there is a mysterious force that is causing an increase in the kinetic energy of the things and this energy is referred to as dark energy. And that's literally it. Even if you Google it, that's all it says. The energy that is responsible for the increase in the rate of expansion, that's it. No one knows about the source of dark energy or its nature. It just exists. But the interesting thing is, if we consider it an entity, the math stands. Even Einstein's theory of general relativity has some mathematical explanation about dark energy. And I don't want to get into it, but it is accepted worldwide, so who am I to argue? Now let's talk about something simpler. You all know that Earth revolves around Sun. Its rotational speed is 30 kilometers per second. Now, Sun, along with the entire solar system, also revolves. It revolves around the center of the Milky Way with a speed of 200 kilometers per second. Now that's a lot of speed. But when I talk objectively, that's actually a lot. Sun shouldn't have that much speed. Let me show you why. This is a demonstration of the position of our star in the Milky Way. Now everything that revolves needs a specific centripetal force. Without that, it would fly off the orbit along with the tangent. In this case, the required force is provided in the form of gravity by the matter inside the orbit of the Sun. But when calculated, it turns out that this matter is not enough, which means that the Sun should slowly drift out of its orbit. But again, the fact that you are listening to me means that it didn't happen, although I wish it would have. But our Sun is not an exception. Look at this. This is a graph of rotational velocity of stars plotted against distance from the center of their galaxies. Now the red curve shows the calculated velocity, while the white curve shows estimated velocity. For instance, let's suppose a star is 50,000 light years away from the center. Now at this point, it should have this much velocity, the point on the red curve. But when measured, it actually has this much velocity. And this behavior is observed in every star in every galaxy, which means that stars should leave their orbit, and yet they don't. which means we're definitely missing something. Something present, although remains unseen. As a matter of fact, it is exactly what it is. Dark matter. A form of matter that doesn't interact with electromagnetic waves, and thus light passes through it, and the only way to observe it is to observe the motion of visible matter. Confusion. People think that just because of the prefix dark matter and dark energy are alike or they have something to do with each other, but that's not the case. In fact, they're the exact opposite. If dark matter is Moriarty, dark energy is Sherlock. If one is light, the other is Dahlia. If one is Naruto, the other is Sasuke. Alright, I got carried away, sorry about that. But you get the point, right? They're not the same. In fact, they're the exact opposite. Dark matter is simply matter that is invisible, while dark energy is a mysterious form of energy. We don't know its source, we don't know its nature, we don't know nothing. Dark matter causes gravity, while dark energy has anti-gravitational effects. So that's all the content. By the way, I chose this MOOC out of pure curiosity.